going to be doing a small first impression review. Just got the new plastics put on today. Got the molecule skid plate. Had to do a little grinding on the one bracket under there. It's got the linkage guard. Got the molecule hand guards. Love them things. But I'm gonna get dressed and take it for a spin. Fires up pretty quick. Alright, first ride out, so map switches to map 1 now, map 2. I don't know if you can see it, but it lights up. Then you got your 2 buttons down here for traction control. So right now it's in 0, 1, 2, 3. I mean, it's got 9 of them, and then high. So I'm gonna leave it at 0 right now. Just to break it in. As I said earlier, I put the new plastics on. I had the graphics on the plastics already. Somewhat set sag. Probably gonna have to do springs and stuff, but we'll see. Not used to these tires, I don't know. I think it comes stock with the Metzlers. Probably be doing tubeless in the rear, heavy duty tube up front, and then AT82s all around. I really like those on the Beta. probably be comparing this to my 300 a lot, which is gonna be different. I've never rode a YZ250, which is what this is more like. My 300 is more set up for woods with the suspension, so it's real soft. I might take us out in the woods today just to see what the low end grunt is. Don't seem too bad. Somewhat of a linear power band, but it also comes on. As you can tell, I'm not much of a track guy. I'm more woods. Coming off a 300 XE300, which has a counterbalance motor, I do feel the vibration in my feet a lot.
One good thing about coming to these races, and that is the vibrations from the cars. Oh! Feel the motor running up my legs. Kind of like Talladega Nights. I feel the vibrations running up my leg. Tell you what though, this thing does get up and go.
might have too much air in these tires. Kind of skating around a little bit. Try map 2. I like it though, it tells you when you're in neutral. So we'll see what map 2 is about. Map 1 felt pretty decent. I mean, I wasn't getting on it. Still kind of breaking it in. Traction control on map 2 is set to high. I think I can really feel it. It didn't want to like get up and go and spin. Mess with the traction control and see what it's all about. Let's take a little break. Decided to hit the woods. I'm gonna mess with the traction control a little bit. So I did a little research on the mapping. So map 1, which is the blue, I think is the more aggressive. And I got it in setting 5. For the traction control. Oh. Whoa. might be a little too much. Hey, what the? This thing feels great. I don't have these bars cut down. Alright, so I'm gonna do my impression video while I wash my bike, so you can watch me wash it. Don't mind the back of the house, it's a fucking mess. But oh, come on. So first impressions, really loved the motor. It was very smooth. It was, the power band had the linear effect like of 300s, like the XEWs, but it still has that hit on top. Now my one buddy compared it a little bit to the Beta 300s, because I guess they still have that hit. I only rode one for a little bit, so I'm not too sure on that. Suspension still needs some work. A little bit soft. We set sag and it's sitting up a little high, so I'm gonna have to get that resprung. Probably gonna go with Pro Tune on that one. The mapping. Now I've had a Beta 350 that had the 2 maps. I mean, they were noticeable, but not that noticeable. On this thing though, it's pretty noticeable between map 1 and 2. And then when you get into the traction control settings, it's very noticeable. So the traction control feels like it limits power from the motor instead of like doing wheel spin like some of the other bikes do. So it is, I had it on high on map 2, and coming out of corners on an MX track, it felt like it was almost stalling, you know, falling on its face. Like it was pretty noticeable, but it kept going. Like I wouldn't call it lugging. Like it's a completely different feeling. But I think once I get that, mess around with that, find out what one I like and set it in my 2 different maps, I think this bike's gonna be really, really good, especially at high speed. I mean, I was going through the woods yesterday and it felt amazing, and I didn't even have the suspension done on it yet. I'm trying to think what else. I don't have too many complaints about it, really. I've only rode it that little bit yesterday around Bull Run. I took it out on the track. I'm not too big of a track person. The track was kind of rough, slick. I'll have to mess around on track settings too, and maybe have one of the maps set up for like an MX thing, and then the other map for the woods. But other than that, the bike feels amazing. I think I'm really gonna like this. I'll still ride my KTM every once in a while, probably going down to like Wellsville and, you know, maybe some other stuff. I still have some parts coming for this. Mostly protection parts. I got rad guards from Bulletproof Designs coming. Their TPS sensor, which is the same as KTM. What else? You got Enduro Engineering front rotor guard, rear rotor guard. Fork lug for the other side. I got tugger straps for front and back, because it's very tight in there, and plus that's moves a little bit. It's kind of like just the fender itself that you're lifting up on. Bike sounds amazing. Headlight's actually pretty bright, which I guess they're sending over headlight switch, so you can switch it to high beam and low beam, which I don't know if I'm gonna get or not. I might be riding this at nighttime sometimes. I don't know. I bought that bright headlight for the KTM, and I don't think I've ever used it since I bought it. What else? I think that's it on the protection stuff. I plan on getting tires front and back. I'm gonna run tubeless with tubeless rear, heavy duty tube up front. AT82s all around. I like that tire on the 350. It did real well in the woods and the MX track. I am kind of curious once this is really broken to do like a race, a hare scramble, or most of the aces they're getting close to being done. They're pretty far away, but I'd like to see how I do on this. I felt a little faster in the woods, and again, that was with the stock suspension with the sag, somewhat said. But yeah, I think this is going to be I think this bike's going to take off. I got it from Cubic, I think that's how you say it, Cubic Cycle Sales in Katanning, PA. Dealt with Josh Lojack. Great experience. Nice guy, super nice guy. Sat and talked with him for a while they were getting the bike ready. Talked to the owner after he got most of the bike set up. Super nice people there. But I guess they're getting, I think he said they're getting 3 more or 4 more. They ordered 4, I think, altogether, maybe. This was the first one, and I got it. So I let that mixture sit for a little bit. I usually go in and get my pressure washer set up while that sits and soaks. But that mixture I'm using to spray on is a cup of Purple Power, a cup of Tide laundry detergent, and the rest water in a sprayer tank. Wet the bike, spray it on, and then pressure wash it off. Kinds of issues. Thing sounds so good.